So you are from SIREN, which is very well known for immigrant issues, and we're here at the Billy DeFrank LGBTQ Community Center, and of course some of our people are immigrants too. And it seems the lay of the land keeps changing. So where are we at now when it comes to immigrant rights?
Well, with the transition of our new presidential administration, there are some executive orders that were signed by the president back in January that strengthens the internal enforcement of immigration, as well as aims to secure our borders with a border wall. But, as far as our rights as immigrants has not changed. Everyone, no matter what their immigration status is, still has basic constitutional rights, and it's our job at SIREN to get out into the community and encourage people to assert those rights.
So can you give an example of a right that I know a lot of people are scared. So what rights do people feel they don't have anymore all of a sudden?
Well, no matter what level or what law enforcement agent someone comes into contact with, whether it's a federal agent or a local law enforcement agent, everyone has the right to not share any information. Everyone has a right to an attorney.
When you say not share information, is that pleading the Fifth?
Yes, yeah. Due to our Fifth Amendment constitutional right, you have the right to remain silent anytime you come into contact with a local or federal law enforcement agent.
And everyone has a right to an attorney. What does that mean?
In case someone is detained or comes into contact, they have the right to an attorney. Probably someone from the legal perspective can talk a little bit more about that, but what we do at SIREN is we really just encourage immigrant community members to assert their Fifth Amendment constitutional right.
So we on TV have seen the ICE police take people, and so you're saying everyone has a right to their immigrant status. So why are the ICE police taking people?
There's a executive order by our federal administration that calls for the hiring of more ICE federal agents. It calls for reactivating secure communities and 287G, which are two programs that carry out enforcement. Also expands the definition of what a priority enforcement, someone who would be a priority for immigration enforcement. Under this executive order, there are provisions that state those who would be a priority would be someone who is either convicted of a criminal offense and just charged. They don't even have to actually be convicted. As long as they have been charged, they could be a priority for enforcement. And we've been hearing all over the country stories of folks who strictly do not have criminal background, who have never committed an offense. Strictly their only offense is just being in the United States undocumented.
So if you're saying immigrants have rights, how can this happen that even if you're not a convicted person, you can still be taken back?
Well, right. When we say immigrants have rights, they have right to not open their door, right? If a federal agent comes to their home and just strictly knocking on their door, they have the right to not answer the door, not to answer any questions, to remain calm. So when it comes to due process and other issues, that is what we're talking about. That's basically what we're talking about. When it comes to immigration enforcement, that's an executive order, and those are some of the provisions that have been trying to be carried out by the administration.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on this month's edition of Outlook Video. You can watch extended versions of our segments and archived past programs on the Outlook Video YouTube channel at youtube.com/OutlookVideo. And be sure to click on the subscribe button.
Also, friend us on Facebook at facebook.com/OutlookVideo. Outlook Video is made possible by generous donations from viewers like you and talented volunteers behind the camera whose names you'll see as we close. We close with some coverage of the Billy DeFrank Immigration Resource Fair. From all of us here at Outlook Video, Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next month.
Bye for now.
That you're discussing, which is how are we going to protect our immigrants and our undocumented population, because this is really an unprecedented time that we're facing, a very challenging time, and a time that is really fraught with a great deal of fear. And I'm entering, we just had a forum actually in one of the most poverty-stricken areas in my district. And aside from the fact that they've already been dealing with issues of affordable housing and discrimination and domestic violence and such, but now on top of it is the complications of the very direct attacks on our communities. But I want to really emphasize that for the first time in my life, I've been a social worker for the past 25 years. And before I came on to council, I spent 2 years on the Eastside Union High School District as an elected official there, and then I jumped into city council. And for the first time in my life, I've never seen children so deeply psychologically and spiritually impacted the way that I'm seeing them now. And so I think that as we move forward in our daily lives, whatever it is that you do, whether you're a social worker or a physician, an engineer, whether you work out in the community or in whatever industry, that somewhere you make space and be very aware of that. And wherever you encounter children, that you have an opportunity to embrace them, because they are very shattered right now, and we have to figure ways of how we help put them back together.